In the coming year, we'll give you an introduction to the Greek Pantheon, one god each month. When making a rundown of the ancient Greek gods, there's little doubt about who to start with. Unlike our story, Greek mythology does not start with Zeus, not even with the gods. Very different from the god of monotheistic religions popular today, the Greek deities are not timeless. They aren't even first on the scene. So before we introduce the Olympians, let's meet their parents and grandparents.
Welcome to Ciceroni. In the beginning there was only chaos. Much like science's singularity, chaos contained everything that would form the universe. From the cloud of chaos were born Gaia, the goddess Earth, Tartarus, the underworld abyss, Erebos, darkness, and Nyx, the night. Sometimes Eros, who is also known under his Roman name Cupid, is also one of these ancient gods. Gaia all by herself conceived a child called Uranus. Every night Uranus, god of the sky, laid over Gaia, goddess of the earth, and as such they made children. You may have noticed that means a mother and a son making babies together, but that's actually surprisingly normal in Greek mythology. Where do you think Sigmund Freud got his ideas? The children were all monsters having either too few eyes or too many arms, and Uranus was unhappy with his offspring. The titans like Atlas and Prometheus he had locked up in the underworld abyss, Tartarus.
Gaia, being a somewhat better parent than Uranus, felt for her children and made a plan to stop him from procreating. She asked the titans to rise up against their father, but only the youngest titan, Kronos, was willing to challenge his father and take his place. When Uranus again came to lay with Gaia that night, Kronos attacked his father and castrated him. The blood that seeped from the wound fell to the earth and birthed among others the giants and the Furies. Some seed also spilled from the wound and landed in the sea, where it created the foam on the waves. From this foam, just off the coast of Cyprus, the most beautiful goddess of them all, Aphrodite, was born. We'll get to her in another video.
Together with his crown jewels, Uranus also lost his crown as Kronos took over as Lord of the Universe. The age of the Titans had begun. Kronos had not learned anything from his father's bad parenting though, and treated his children even worse. Having received the prophecy that he would be overthrown by his son, just as he had overthrown his own father, he came up with a plan. Not having anti-conception and a life of abstinence not being a very attractive idea, Kronos decided to devour his children as soon as they were born. Rhea, who was Kronos' wife as well as his sister, some more Freud right there, was understandably unhappy about this system. And after having lost 5 children this way, she came up with a plan. When the 6th child, Zeus, was born, Rhea hid him from his father and instead fed Kronos a stone wrapped in swaddling clothes. The stone is called the Omphalos, meaning navel, and it would later mark the center or navel of the world at the holy site of Delphi. Zeus was kept hidden and raised by a goat until he was strong enough to challenge Kronos. When he was ready, Zeus fulfilled the prophecy, overthrew his father and rescued his siblings from Kronos' stomach.
Although you may not have noticed, this tale might be familiar to you. You may very well know it as a Brothers Grimm tale of a mother goat and her children, in which all children but the youngest are devoured. When the time is right, the youngest child comes out of hiding and brings down the monster. The siblings that were eaten spring forth one by one, alive and well. And in the end, the monster is cast in the abyss, stomach filled with stones. The story even contains an Easter egg of sorts. Remember where the youngest goat hides?
With Kronos' fall, the Titanomachy commenced, in which the Olympians under leadership of Zeus fought a war against the Titans. The war marks the end of the Age of the Titans and the start of the Age of the Olympians. To help him fight his war, the Cyclopses, who also disliked the Titans, forged for Zeus his trademark weapon, his mighty thunderbolt. Next to his bearded figure, it is this thunderbolt from which you can most easily recognize him. When the war was concluded, the Olympians imprisoned the Titans and ruled the universe. As it was Zeus who had freed his siblings and led the war, he became the leader of the gods, and the god of the sky, most elevated of them all.
Many of the Greek gods fell in love and made children with deities and mortals alike, but Zeus, he was in a league of his own. As a result, he had many children. Some of them themselves were Olympians, such as Athena and Apollo. Some others were minor deities, like the Muses, and again others were mortals, like Heracles, Perseus and Helen of Troy. If you are in Europe, there's a good chance you are carrying one of Zeus's lovers around with you. Hold a Euro to the light and you will see the portrait of a girl who Zeus, this time in the shape of a bull, abducted from Asia and took to Greece. The girl's name was Europa, and it is after her that our continent is named.
Next month, another of Zeus's lovers, who also happens to be his sister.
Thanks for watching our video. If you liked it, please click here to subscribe for more interesting videos in the future. And click here to see the playlist to which we will add another god each month.